Sup, Nerdmigos, and the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. We're here for another review, Jive. It is Star Trek Saturday. I know it's Sunday. Doesn't fucking matter anymore. But Star Trek Saturday.
So isn't every day Saturday and or Sunday? Because they all just kind of like bleed together.
Something like that. Like that. We just watched episode 6 of Star Trek Lower Decks for the second time, Terminal Provocations. So I'm going to read the thing, and then we'll get into the episode. So, Ensign Fletcher makes work difficult for Mariner and Boimler. Rutherford shares a holodeck training program he created with Tendi. Which is pretty fucking straightforward.
Yeah.
Right, so this has 3 plots, just like the last episode did. The main plot for the ship is the C plot, which is our motivation plot in this episode. Yeah. And that is that the Cerritos discovered a field of old Federation starship debris, and an alien vessel is has claimed salvage on it. Yeah. And is trying to take the debris, and of course the Cerritos wants it. So that's our main motivation for the ship in this episode. But our true A plot is Boimler and Mariner want to go to the choo-choo dance because it's like life-changing or something.
It's like super fun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. In my mind, it's like Stomp or the Blue Man Group or any of that like 90s shit, you know? That was just, or people were just like, I watched Stomped and I cried for a week.
I was thinking it was like a themed dance, like oh, it's like a choo-choo dance, so like everything's train themed.
No, I don't think that's what it is.
Well, like all those high school dances are like themed somehow.
They're not. I think that they are standing there watching people perform. Mostly because we saw them in a flashback standing there watching people perform.
That's true.
Right? So it's not like a dance.
But there was a ton of people dancing. I think it was a dance.
The people dancing were on their way to the event.
No, see, I think that
we know it wasn't a dance.
I think it was a dance.
Yeah, we know that it wasn't that.
I think it was.
Because why would you stand and stare forward during a dance?
Because like somebody's dancing in the circle and you're watching them.
No.
But you're not doing that the whole dance.
That's fine. She doesn't seem to understand that there are people that you attend them doing it. That's why they added a third chew. The tense spoke on this.
I suppose.
Describes it as such.
Anywho,
so they want to attend Stomp and or the Blue Man Group or Trash or any of those other ones. And so they have to like do some isolinear chip core nonsense. And so Fletcher is like, Ensign Fletcher, who's like Boimler's old Starfleet Academy friend, is like, oh, go ahead, like I'll finish it up. Fletcher tries to pull Reginald Barclay and make himself smarter with the ship's computer. Yeah. Except for Reginald Barclay is smart enough to understand how to do that, and Fletcher peed his pants. So he basically, they like find him like beat up in the hallway, right, in like isolinear core area, and he's just like, somebody attacked me. So they go fuck with Delta Shift, and Delta Shift is just like, it was not us. Get the fuck out of here with this. Which, listen, I want one episode of Lower Decks that's only Delta Shift. I want an episode called Delta Shift.
Hilarious.
They look funny. I want it to not have any of the Beta Shift, because we also found out that our crew is Beta Shift. Yeah. But I don't want any of the Beta Shift on there. I just want it to be like just Delta Shift and them talking shit about our people, and just and the episode ends, and then the next episode's about Beta Shift again, and we're fine.
Seems like it's like graveyard.
Yeah, they're the night guys. You know? Yeah, there's something wrong about them. They do work while we sleep.
There's something like extra funny about that they can
I don't necessarily know about extra funny, but having worked quite a while of graveyard, it certainly offers more weirdness. Weirder shit happens in the dark. I did security for graveyard at a hospital. Weird shit happens at the dark. You find people in the bushes. It's just a weird fucking time overall, right? As soon as the sun goes down, fucking weirdos come out, man. I want a Delta Shift episode super bad. But, so it wasn't Delta Shift, And of course, while this is all going on, the C plot, which is the main ship plot, has exacerbated to the point where they are having debris thrown against the hull, and so the shields start acting up, so it becomes a more pressing issue. Then come to find out, Fletcher stole the thing and hooked it up to his brain to try to make himself smarter, and it's now possessed with the desire to consume more things. So they have to fight. And of course, the whole time, Fletcher is just like, maybe we blame it on a Q. What if we get beat up a little bit? Then we don't have to blame. Then we can blame it on aliens. Maybe it's like he is the fucking worst.
He's
person.
just like trying to get out of like the consequences
He's the worst.
of his actions.
He's the absolute worst. Yeah,
time.
it's great. Oh my god, he's such a piece of shit. And so they basically drag it to an airlock and blast it out the airlock. Which, at first, I was like, you are a fucking moron. There are a bunch of shit parts out there. And I thought we were going to end this episode with either having to fight a semi-intelligent starship of junk, or it was going to end right as it was starting to consume that, and the next episode was leading into them fighting a semi-intelligent starship made out of junk. But luckily that didn't happen. Instead, it just flew in a straight line to the enemy ship and started tearing holes in that thing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So that obviously didn't end as predicted or as planned, or I'm pretty certain as Boimler. And they're all like, we're fired. That's it. Boimler and Mariner are just like, we're out.
We're so fired.
Yeah, we're all fired. And then basically they get power restored, and when the bridge crew comes down, when the first officer comes down to like figure out what the heck's going on, Mariner sort of adds a little bit of flair to the story and guarantees that Fletcher gets promoted and reassigned.
Yeah.
He actually gets promoted and reassigned to the Titan, which is like Boimler's dream job. And then like within a week, this is like the final scene, basically within a week he gets kicked out, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect because it treats to this idea that like, you know, like Lower Deck stuck together, and at no point in time did Mariner betray her group of compatriots, but at the same time the Federation's like checks and balance system made sure to remove an idiot officer like that from rank, you know?
Exactly.
So I feel like as much as that's like part of me sort of like, it's kind of a shitty move to have just like let him move on to become another ship's problem, you know, if he's this bad of an officer. But at the same time, like, I totally get it. So, like,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I get it, you know. So I like that. It was good.
Well, she didn't, like, narc on him, so...
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't narc on him or nothing, you know. And so, like, you know, everybody did the right thing insofar as they could possibly be right, with the exception of Fletcher, and he got fired for it, so it's okay. You know, maybe he'll be just a working guy in the thing. Maybe he'll work in a coffee shop in San Francisco. He'll just be a background character when other Starfleet crews come by, kind of a thing. But so that was the A plot, right? And then the B plot is Tendi and Rutherford in the holodeck. So Tendi basically admits that she never finished spacewalk training, and Rutherford's like, hey, I made this adorable program to help us learn stuff. So Rutherford turns on his adorable program, and it's Badgie. It's basically, by basically I mean exactly,
Clippy from Microsoft. So any of you that remember this,
that are old
I'm
enough,
sure let out perhaps a cackle or a groan.
Yeah,
or,
and I mean like exactly like Clippy.
Like had the vapors.
And he's and Badgie is super adorable and super cute and very very like.
Well, very
like
much
Nickelodeon cartoony. Yeah. Like, let's help out today. Like he's like it's like over the top, right? Like obnoxiously so. But then of course like Rutherford's trying to like show off in front of Tendi, and Badgie's slow at loading. He's like a loading bar across his chest, and he's like slow loading, and Rutherford's just like Badgie, restart the program. Come on, Badgie! Like he's just, which is so, like, to me is so un-Rutherfordy to
really
have happen.
Is, though.
But also as you experience the episode, I think that you realize that like he was sort of like in a panic because the thing that he was trying to show off wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so maybe he was like losing control of his emotions a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that, with having the Vulcan implant might be like imbalancing that a little bit. But
which is interesting because you don't really see him kind of get like that. So
no, I mean, he has fun and he laughs and he smiles and he cries and like all that. So he's not like fully Vulcan, right? But like you can also tell that like that the Vulcan chip like really inhibits his emotions.
Yeah.
You know? So like I was okay with the outburst when I kind of thought about it, but then of course power goes out because of the main thing that's happening on the ship, and holodeck safety protocols get turned off, and Badgie is a murderous psychopath. Holy shit! Badgie
loses,
shoulder checks him, and it's just like, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you? Like, super fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Right? And then...
Well, and he starts calling Rutherford Dad.
Yeah, it's bananas.
And, like, chasing Rutherford and Tendi and getting into fights with them. He's trying to kill them.
Yeah, so, well, he's chasing them through space, right? And he bit a hole in Rutherford's spacesuit. So Rutherford's like, take us to, like, a Bajoran... like trading outpost kind of thing. So they're just in like a nice open air like trading kind of an outpost, like trading place.
Well, it's like a bazaar.
Like a bazaar.
It's a very like Aladdin type scene.
Well, that's what
where
those,
they're like hiding.
That's what those look
and you
like.
see him far away, and they're trying to hide. So it's like that kind of a.
It's very Bajoran if you know what the Bajorans look like and act like, but. And of course, Badgie's there, and like at first Badgie's just threatening and weird and has gotten creepy, and he immediately starts murdering Bajorans. Now, granted, holographic Bajorans, but still murdering Bajorans. And he's just like, I'll murder you, like I'll drink your blood. I'm gonna wear your skin. Like he says,
I'm gonna murder you and bathe in your blood. It's so crazy.
I'm gonna burn your heart out and then bathe in its ashes. Just like he's fucking nuts. So he's chasing him. But Rutherford figures out that Badgie is affected by the physical parameters of his body, right? So like he gets exhausted and things like that. So he decides to have the holodeck switch them to like a Arctic sort of an environment, so that way Badgie would freeze while of course all this is going on. And of course like at one point in time Tendy's like even cheering Badgie on. Yeah. Just because he's so cute, like you kind of forget that the threats are really fucked up. But like really fucked up. But so inevitably Badgie like stabs Rutherford with basically Rutherford like stands and fights him. Badgie stabs Rutherford with an icicle, and Rutherford's just like, you don't understand, like I didn't mean to hurt you, I was just trying to impress Tendi. She's so cute. Look at her. Which is like, as everybody I think on the internet has agreed, that Tendi's ultimate Star Trek Lower Decks waifu.
Oh yeah.
We love Tendi to death.
We screamed.
And he's just, and his admonition that like he thinks Tendi is cute is exactly what we want, because we want this relationship 100%.
Yeah.
And So of course then Badgie freezes, and then he breaks Badgie's neck, which is insane.
First of all, unnecessary.
Yeah, he's just like boom, and then like Badgie's on the ground like twisted, right? And then of course main engineering got power restored to all ship systems. So holodeck safety protocols re-engage, and it resets the holodeck, and Badgie pops back in and he's normal and regular, and they're just like, all right, well we're gonna fucking leave this place.
Like, hi guys, can I help you with something?
And they're just like, no.
Badgie, do you remember anything of what happened? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's go do some fun stuff. And you're just like, ooh, they back out.
They're like, we got some other stuff to go. Like, you stay here. We're gonna leave. And then as they're leaving, Badgie's just like, I'm always here.
Yeah, he's like I'll be here.
He's still aware that he's a murderous psycho, which I hope comes back. I love the idea that Badgie is a murderous psycho. It's fantastic. Same. Also, there's a scene at the beginning of this B plot, which I thought was really, really fun. It's actually my favorite plot of this particular episode, where Rutherford's like, oh, I made this educational program so we can, like, learn stuff. Why don't we learn how to do the spacewalk? And Tendy's like, oh, I didn't think, I guess I never thought that you could do that with the holodeck. And he's like, yeah, the holodeck can be used for more than just hanging out with famous people, like Albert Einstein or Stephen Hawking or Leonardo da Vinci. And he just names off all of the fucking people in the holodeck episodes from TNG and Voyager, and you're just like, wow, I feel personally attacked now. Okay, fuck you. And I'm so glad holodeck episodes in a Star Trek season are sort of like beach episodes or Christmas episodes in anime. They're mandatory, and I think that putting this holodeck episode as a B plot with a little bit more emotional weight than you would expect at the beginning, but as well as it being like over the top. So the show does this thing where it takes whatever the normal Star Trek plot flow is and kind of cranks it up to 11, right? It turns it up. And I think that instead of it being like Moriarty out to get you or like whatever the fuck, right? It's instead of it being this like kind of conniving, intelligent thing, or that oh my god, the holodeck has become conscious, we gotta whatever or anything like that. It's just like switch flipped Badgie murder, right? And it's so over the top, and he's so bloodthirsty, and it's so insane that it really feels like a regular holodeck episode, Lower Decks style, which I really like that Lower Decks is finding this sort of like thread of throughness in the Star Trek universe, where it's like regular stuff cranked up, or regular stuff, but it's trickling down to affecting our main characters in the Lower Decks in this way. It really makes it feel like Star Trek. I really fucking love this episode. I thought it was really super funny.
This episode. We've actually seen this episode 3 times before doing this review.
Yeah, we did watch it thrice.
And it really got better every single time.
Yeah, these are super rewatchable episodes.
Are really good and really funny, and I feel like this episode was a little bit less about like character growth and progression and more about like how far we've come in the character growth and progression so far. You know, so you get a comment about Mariner, like, oh, is she the badass from Beta Crew? And it's like, of course she is. You're like, yeah, she is, and like, she's defending Boimler, and Boimler and her are working together, and
this is
you really get to like
relationship based episode. I would say that this episode is more about friendship than anything else, right? With our A plot being specifically about like Lower Decks stick together, like go B crew, or Beta Shift, but more than that, I think that it shows how good of friends Boimler and Mariner are. Yeah. Right? And I think that it shows how close Tendi and Rutherford have gotten, insofar as Rutherford may be trying to push it into something more than just a traditional friendship, which we're super in favor of the ship. Yeah. But I think that this episode had a lot to do with instead of evolving the relationships, showing us how these relationships have evolved and where they're at now, as well as, I mean, even though it was C plot, the bridge crew drama was very interesting, and I like that we're getting more out of the bridge crew. The chief security officer just desirously wanting to fire at their warp core is the best.
He is very rapidly becoming my favorite person on bridge crew.
He's certainly the best bridge crew officer. Yeah, certainly. And he's just like when the captain finally gives him permission, and he's just like, yes! And then goes to fire, and he's just like, Captain, the phasers are down. Like, he's just like heartbroken that he can't just murder these aliens. Yeah. It's so good. Like, you know what? The show, I feel like the show definitely has its legs. I think that it knows what it's doing. And I think that we're in a place where these next episodes are going to be, this episode and these upcoming episodes are just going to be these like they're hitting classics now. Yeah. You know, I think that's like, hey, we've done enough setup. We know what's going on. Let's do a holodeck episode. Yeah. Let's do a alien virus. Like let's do all the classics. Let's bang those out. Man, do I want to see a Q show up in this fucking show so badly. Yeah. I mean, listen, Q from TNG does voice acting. He does
oh yeah, that's right.
My Little Pony. He does one of the voices in that. So like call him up, have him do some voice acting.
Because they keep referencing Q.
Dude, I want Q to show up on this show.
It's pretty
and just
exciting.
like I want him to show up and just crack a Picard joke and then just bounce. Like just show up, talk, like have them arguing about the Enterprise D, have him show up, make some bullshit about Picard and leave, and they're just like, what the fuck happened? I need it in my soul. That's what I want. But either way, we love this episode. It's a 5 out of 5. Go watch this episode.
Great episode.
What did you think of the episode? What was your favorite part? Again, my favorite part was Badgie just desiring blood so much. He's the best character, Badgie.
I think I'd have to say that my favorite part is the Rutherford Tendy part. Like, she's so cute.
Yeah. That was good payoff. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But either way, I've been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. This has been Review Jive. It's Star Trek Saturday, kinda. And I'm gonna kinda graphic now. It's Star Trek Saturday, kinda. And we this was Lower Decks.
Yeah.
What's the name of this bloody episode again?
Something.
Terminal Provocations.
Yeah.
Terminal Provocations. So, we'll catch you guys next Saturday. Watch more Star Trek.